guys, how's it going? Masterbucks here and welcome to yet another FIFA 20 career mode video. Today I am going to be breaking down the pitch notes of the career mode news that we got about FIFA 20 only at the moment of recording, literally a couple of minutes ago. I am seeing the pitch notes at the same time as all of you guys. Yes, I did release my video earlier going through a bit more in depth all the new features to career mode. However, I wasn't actually able to get a visual of the game mode itself. So if you want a bit more of an in-depth breakdown, then you can watch that video, but this will hopefully give a little, I might be able to clarify for any of you that have watched that previous video a little bit more of what I was talking about. And also we'll have visual now, we'll be able to see what it looks like in the game. But this is it, the pitch notes. I tell you what, I normally don't make videos like this. I normally don't jump on a website, scroll down the page, read off everything and react, and you know, that's not normally my content. But I am so excited. Like, this is a huge moment for career mode, right? That I am genuinely here sitting at my computer making this react video, going through the pitch notes because I'm that excited. Really, and I hope all you guys are. From everything that I've heard, from everyone that I've spoken with at EA and all the information that I've seen, everything I've seen, they have genuinely put a significant amount of time into player career mode. Manager career mode is also there. However, it's apparently been relatively untouched. All the focus has been on manager career mode, but boy does it show. The feedback in general from the community has of course been apparently picked up by EA. They wanted to make sure that FIFA 20 was a significant milestone for career mode, especially in terms of all of their modes when it came to FIFA 20, and that they were going to strive to evolve and create experiences in FIFA that give our users more diversity and choice each year. The information below will shed light on new experiences we have been developing for some time now and that we are working hard to further refine right at this moment. And of course, the biggest, or maybe not the biggest, but one of the bigger things, the thing that everyone has really gotten super excited about are the press conferences and the player conversations. There's a lot of things to get excited about with career mode this year, but of course we will now be doing press conferences and having conversations with players as well. But everyone's gassed about the press conferences. They have technically been in FIFA for quite a while, but all you could do really it wouldn't be a cutscene, it would just be a piece of text, and all you would do is either praise one of your own players, praise another team's players, or talk shit about the manager, or do something like that. I don't know. There was that option, but now it looks like it's gone a little bit more in depth. They say they wanted to add highly relevant features that will ensure, or that would represent an important step forward for career mode and especially manager career mode. This year, the new feature lineup is represented by press conferences, player conversations, and all of the intricate tools and logic sitting behind those features. And now we actually get to see it in action. Right before a press conference, this is how it all looks. Your manager walks out there. You'll have actual members of the press sitting in there, and apparently you can praise, motivate, criticize, sympathize, or calm, depending on what it is. You can also skip conferences. My only concern with this is that it looks cool. It does, but I just wonder how significant these press conferences are. Do you really? Is it to your benefit not to skip these? Do you want to go? Will it improve players' morale and thus potentially give them increases to their attributes and things like that? I just hope that this is meaningful and that it's not tedious, and you know, it's something that's worthwhile. And here we see it in action. Your manager that you create, of course, we know that there's manager customization. We'll get to that. He comes out, he sits down in the chair, and I'm sure he gets asked questions that, according to what I've seen and what I've heard, questions that should be relevant to the situation that you're in, and it won't just be generic questions that get thrown at you back and forth again. However, I guess the only way to really know that is by playing the game a good extended month or so and then figuring out if you do just get the same questions thrown back at you. I'm sure it will, but regardless, it still looks very, very cool. You have pre and post-match press conferences on top of player conversations, and these are all just supposed to, you know, increase the authenticity. They're supposed to, you know, try to, you know, what is it? These are stories built based on player progress with which each player will be able to interact with and influence the morale of the team and their standing as the team's manager. Now, in the previous video, when I said that these press conferences are probably going to have the same sort of impact on your career modes as memos did back in the day, I'm talking way back in the day, like FIFA 06, FIFA 07, those are the games that had like memos where you would be given options, you would select one of the options, and depending on what you picked, it would actually have, it would influence things like morale things like fan support and stuff like that. It was there, and there were, if you picked the wrong options or if you picked bad options, it would work against you, whereas if you pick good options, it would work for you. So that's I'm hoping is kind of what this is, or along those lines, because I loved memos, I really did. Just something that popped up, a little surprise, and something you had to deal with, and it actually had an effect on your career mode. I enjoyed that. As you can also see, a little screenshot here, they actually do take little grabs from games that you play and use that as the little image that they use to they use that to as the image that when you actually win a game and it gives you that little piece of news saying your team won this game or whatever, they'll actually use a grab from in that game. Nice, cool little detail. Just adds to it a bit, but again, hardly anything I think you can say is a feature or anything like that. It is something a little bit small, but still appreciated. And now we move on into player conversations. Of course, player conversations will mainly serve as a one-on-one interaction between the manager and players within the team through a messaging app-like interface. I thought when they said messaging app-like interface that it was going to be like, for lack of a better, sort of example, in NBA 2K My Career, like you do have like your player will have a phone and you'll be able to contact other players on your phone as if you were texting. Now this is sort of along those lines, but it is still sort of in the same, it is kind of similar to how it was before. You have your inbox over here, and instead of player notifications or messages or whatever, it's player chat. So you see here, Sergio Ramos, greetings boss, on behalf of the whole team, I'd like to give you a warm welcome at Real Madrid. We've got work to do, excited about the future, nice to meet you. So this is your, I assume this is your option to be a bit of a, what was it? I've got to scroll back up to the top here. Oh, maybe I've overshot it. Motivates. So you can see here from the, you've got probably options that are motivating. You can praise a player, you can criticize a player, sympathize and calm. And I'm assuming that depending on what you're asked, or depending on the circumstances, that one of these options is probably the right one to pick. You can't just criticize all your players, otherwise that's probably going to have a massive impact on their morale. You can't always praise them. If they do something bad and they come and apologize for having a bad game, maybe that's an option. You don't exactly want to be praising them or anything like that. It just is common sense, isn't it? Another little screenshot here. We've got a long season ahead of us. Sergio, I'm expecting nothing but the very best out of you and the lads, and that is if you go for the motivating option. It's not exactly a critical, but it's definitely making things quite hard, eh? And you can see, as a result, you see his morale is pretty content. 91, I don't know why I'm pointing out his overall, but 91 overall. Centre back, crucial, so that's all very important as well. Like, they're really just throwing a player squad role right out there. That's apparently very prime and important information. But he's gone from a content morale to a happy morale just because you picked a pretty good, just because you have picked something that's good. It's almost like, it is in a way a bit Football Manager-esque for all of you that have played that. You will have players come to you, sending you messages. You can interact with them, and depending on what you say, it affects their morale. It very much seems that EA have almost borrowed from Football Manager in that sense. But you know what? I like that. I really, really do. And I'm overall super happy that this is in the game, because I really do think it, especially since it can affect players' attributes and overalls, and I don't know about potentials, but the fact that it actually does have a player's morale now, a pretty significant impact to your career mode, I'm super happy. And let's talk about it. Here we go. The player morale system. As you can see, all the features described above would not have been completed without a lot of work under the hood. The player morale system is exactly that. It is the piece that actually makes all the complex stories we have built, and that will be surfacing relevant. Morale will be influenced by a multitude of different factors. I remember this isn't in the pitch notes, but one of the developers or producers, the people that were working on career mode, said that it was down to 4 factors. I think it was the player's contract, how much game time they were getting, if they were like his performances, his individual performances and team performances. Those were the 4 things. I don't know if they bring that up at some point in these pitch notes. I don't think they do, but those are the 4 factors. Morale will be influenced by a multitude of different factors. As I said, those are the 4, ranging from player time, play time and wage expectations, players' performance on the pitch, how well the team's doing. They pretty much get around that. All right, so that's pretty much what they say. Secondly, answers in press conferences and replies to players in one-on-one conversations impact players' morale, as we have seen before. And as you can see right here, we're building a winning team. Real Madrid team morale is happy, and Isco's morale is also quite happy as well. Or should I say, that's more of a question that's specific to the team, although it does also make Isco's morale happy as well. See, every question that you say is important. It does affect player morale, and it does seem like it's overall going to have quite an effect on it. Because I would love to see if your team were like a somewhat decent side, but everyone's morale was just, everyone was super unhappy. Everyone was just really, really not in a good way and were super, super unhappy at the club. That you would see your attributes or players overall drop off by a pretty significant amount. I don't know what significant would be to you, but let's say the whole team's unhappy and then everyone's overall drops by like 4 or 5. That would be nuts. I'm so happy. We've got dynamic player potential, and now pretty much with morale affecting attributes. It's great to see. I love to see it. We spoke about manager customization, the fact that yes, this is indeed now something as well. You get to pick from default managers as you do before, but now instead of that being your manager, you can go even more in depth. You can change, my god, you can change your manager's head, mouth, I'm assuming, like all of this. So here you go your eyes, eyebrows, nose, mouth. You can pretty much mold a player's face the exact same you can mold your manager's face the same way you would a player, and it looks as though that they've got completely different attire, and you can choose from a whole bunch of different options. Look, you can give your bloke a hat. You can give your man a hat. You can give your man a hat. FIFA 20, greatest career mode of all time. But yeah, you can sort him out with a decent or pretty crazy outfit. And apparently there are a whole bunch of different suggestions, but I'm quite liking this shirt, tie, sweater combo. I reckon if you ditched the hat and made him bold, you'd pretty much have your own little Pep Guardiola right there. That's looking beautiful. You can adjust the color and all the basic main info and stuff like that. I really do love to see it. That is sensational. Live news screenshots, a little bit like what I was talking about before, and they showed it actually a little early, that they take little grabs, little screenshots from games that you just play and show it in the news, and you can see it there, using gameplay screenshots showing key moments of any given match to create relevant pieces of news. That's what that is. I really don't imagine it's anything more than just, you score a nice goal, they'll take a bit of a screenshot. It'd be sick if they showed like a replay of it in the news. That would be cool, but either way, that is in there. And league user interface themes. Now, I didn't actually mention this in the previous, little video that I made, but apparently the user interface themes are only for the, as you can see here, Premier League, Bundesliga, Ligue 1, La Liga, and the MLS. So there's 5 leagues there on top of the Champions League and the Europa League. But everything else I think is just going to have the default branding from the looks of things, which is not too bad, but I quite like it. Hopefully maybe one day we might end up getting to the day where every single league has its own UI, but you know, we'll get there. We'll get there one day. It'll be cool. This is what it looks for La Liga. This is how it looks for the Premier League. I really like the background there, and I like how they've actually got them sort of in a room. Like I don't know. It all looks pretty cool. La Liga's one there, the Champions League, as you can see too. But now we move on to pretty much just all text for dynamic player potential. But because it is so big, let's just read through it all. One of the heavily requested improvements to the way players develop through each season was to have their potential change based on their performance. Potential for players with your own squad will evolve over time based on the player's performance in the previous season. So maybe it's going to end up being a thing where at the end of every season, I don't know if you'll ever be able to see what a player's, I don't know if they'll have like a potential range or something, and maybe the range would change potentially, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. It looks like it may be, from the sound of things and from what I'm reading, that it's something that gets affected or changed at the end or just prior to the start of a new season. If you score a lot of goals with a young prospect in his breakthrough season, his potential will be even higher in the upcoming season. Kept a run of good performances with an old player close to retirement, his potential will go higher, thus meaning that the decrease to his attributes will stall. So very good to see that. I mean, if a player that does get a little older isn't doing anything, of course he's going to drop off with his attributes. But if you've got like a Fabio Quagliarella, for example, who's 37, won the Golden Boot, beating Cristiano Ronaldo, and he's got to be on for an upgrade this year, it would make perfect sense, wouldn't it? Hell, I wonder if you can still upgrade players' overalls even if they are getting super old, or if all you can do is stall it. I don't know, but either way, potential will decrease if a player hasn't been performing well in the previous season, or if he just hasn't received enough play time. So hopefully loans now are actually sort of worth it. I mean, you can train your young players as much as you want, but you won't be able to train everyone with only 5 drills a week. So some players that you just have sitting in your reserves, maybe, and just they grew over time, maybe that's not the best way to go about it now. But either way, general improvements and additions like new negotiation environments. Have a look at this. You're in a bloody skyscraper. That is nuts. I am loving that. And that is sensational. Another addition at diversifying our interactive negotiation scenes is the introduction of 2 new environments: the rooftop lounge, as we can see, and the restaurant. All the big deals get done in the restaurants, do they? That are now part of our lineup of scenes used for player negotiations. We don't have a shot of the restaurant, but man, I want to see that. I want to see who's sealing a $200 million deal at your local bloody, I don't know, Nando's. Why did it take me so long to come up with a restaurant? Maybe not Nando's, maybe like a Nobu or something. That'd be probably more accurate. But anyway, spot fixes and balancing changes added an option to, or in the player actions pop-up, to add a player to the shortlist and immediately go to the transfer hub with the respective player. Redesign team management. So this is how it all looks, and you can really actually see, you can really compare players a lot easier. All that information is just right there on top of, which I love that they've done this year. And I noticed this in Shanghai when I played, that they now have summations of pace, shooting, passing, dribbling, defending, physical. Those ultimate team summations, those ultimate team stats are now just in everything, in team management, which is across FIFA. So that is, I'm very happy to see. Some of the other things I spoke about, like international management job offers, you can disable that, which I might honestly be looking to do. You can, other changes like initial amounts for wage budget allocation have been increased. Distribution of ethnicity when scouting youth players, of course, which we spoke about. Fixed issues like, respective to certain leagues, and then improved algorithm to make sure that teams are using their main starting 11. Readjusted the number of saves to 8. Thank you very much. Competition changes. They fixed up congestion issues, which should hopefully be great. The winter break rollout this season, as well as the removal of the FA Cup 5th round replay, since apparently they don't do that. So that'll improve fixture congestion issues in English leagues. They've made other changes. We've slightly altered the authentic schedule of the English Championship by pushing its competition to a later date. This ensures that schedule conflict situations between championship rounds and European football nights aren't possible. All right then, and added the new format to the Spanish Super Cup. They've changed around the Austrian Bundesliga, where they've had they round down the points in leagues to split in like playoffs and stuff, and then a 4th substitute in extra time as well. And that is a wrap, ladies and gentlemen, on the pitch notes. I am pretty damn excited for FIFA 20, and it all looks so good. I mean, in my mind and just reading all the information that I was given, I was pretty excited. Now I'm actually getting to see it. I'm seeing screenshots, I'm seeing GIFs of it in action. Oh, I can't wait for FIFA 20 career mode, man. This is going to be sick, and I have so many plans, like honestly. Depending on certain things, I might be coming out with maybe, it might actually be a few weeks, potentially even maybe a month down the road, but I'm going to be revealing the team I'm going to do at the start of FIFA 20 career mode, and it's a team that I think a lot of you are going to be very happy about. I think it'll be, well, most of you should be pretty happy about. I don't know, you might be rivals with this team or something, but still though, I have so many plans for FIFA 20 career mode, man. You have no idea. Make sure, if you haven't already, that you subscribe to the channel. I mean, if you watched my previous video and you've watched this one, that's well over 30 minutes or so worth of your day that you've spent watching me. And if you haven't clicked off yet, then surely you're liking what you're seeing. So be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you once again for watching the video. Roll on FIFA 20. Cannot wait for career mode. And until the next video, my name is Master Bucks. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.